I thought the President's State of the Union speech tonight was relatively tepid. Most all of it was predictable. I knew that he was going to press to increase the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. He wanted to extend unemployment benefits out to, who knows, 99 weeks, I think. And he wanted to press us to pass comprehensive immigration reform. He did all those things, and he spoke to increase the earned income tax credit. He addressed the energy situation, but he left out ethanol, which was a bit of a surprise. And he advocated that we should put $4 billion, take $4 billion out of petroleum and put it into wind. Or excuse me, put it into solar. That was also a bit of a surprise, breathtaking, wind versus the solar. And it was also interesting the way he skipped over some of the components of Iran. Forgot to tell us that even though that there is a slowdown, apparently, in some of Iran's nuclear effort, that the centrifuges are still turning in Iran. He was overly optimistic on Israel and the Palestinian question and the negotiations that take place there. But all in all, if you watch the crowd, you learn the most about this speech. He said a lot of things that divide Democrats and Republicans. There were a number of issues that only Democrats stood and applauded on. On the immigration issue, which we know he was going to bring, there were only a handful of Republicans that stood and applauded. That was really instructive, I think, and that tells you that Republicans aren't ready to move on immigration. We can't trust the president, and so we're not likely to move anything, I don't think, that we could put on the president's desk. That would be good because we see that he refuses to enforce current law. Why would we expect that he would ever do anything to honor any laws we might pass, at least with regard to immigration? So all in all, he spent 10% on Obamacare, 10% of his speech on Obamacare, roughly. And I'm listening to this tepid speech without any new news in it. And he could have also reminded us that last year he asked us to pass a farm bill. Tomorrow he's likely to get one on his desk. I would have appreciated a comment to that effect. But in the end, it was a tepid speech. It was generally predictable. It didn't flow up with any real emotion, and it didn't really let us down. But if you could have pulled all of the Obamacare out of that and the reality of Obamacare out of the speech, then I think I could have sat there and relaxed and thought, oh, the country's in not too bad a shape. But we've got Obamacare to fight. He was emphatic about that part. And I think it's going to be a long, hard slog before we resolve the health care issue in America. All in all, not a terrific speech, but we walk away from this thing that it was pretty much predictable.